Chapter 4. The Thakur's Well. Each one of us are children of God. Whether a Brahmin or a low-caste person, we all breathe the same air and have the same sunlight too. Don't you think each of us has the right to drink water from any well? Read and find out what was so special about the Thakur's Well. Joku brought the lota to his mouth, but the water smelled foul. He said to Ganji, "What kind of water is this? It stinks so much. I can't drink it. I am dying of thirst, and you give me water that is filthy and muddy." Every evening, Ganji filled a few pots with water. The well was a long way off, and it was hard for her to make several trips. She'd brought this water yesterday, and there had been no bad smell at all to it then. How could it be there now? She lifted the lota to her nostrils. The smell was revolting. Surely some animal must have fallen into the well and died. But she didn't know where else she could get any water. No one would let her walk up to the Thakur's Well. Even while she was far off, people would start yelling at her. At the other end of the village, the shopkeeper had a well, but even there they wouldn't let her draw any water. For people like herself, there wasn't any well in the village. Joku, who'd been sick for several days, did not drink the water for a little while. Then he said, "I'm so thirsty I can't stand it. Bring me the water. I'll hold my nose and drink a little." Ganji did not give it to him. His sickness would get worse from drinking filthy water, that much she knew. But she didn't know that by boiling the water it would be safe. She said, "How can you drink it? Who knows what kind of beast had died in it? I'll go and get you some water from the well." Surprised, Joku stared at her. "Where can you get more water? The Thakurs and the shopkeeper both have wells. Won't they let me fill just one lota? You'll come back with your arms and legs broken. That's all. You'd better just sit down and keep quiet. The Brahmin will give a curse, the Thakurs will beat you with a stick, and that money-lending shopkeeper will hurl abuse at you. Who cares for people like us? We can die, and nobody will even come to the door to have a look. Do you think people like that are going to let you draw water from their well?" This was the harsh truth, and Ganji could not deny it. But she wouldn't let him drink that stinking water. By 9 o'clock at night, the dead tired hands were fast asleep, but a half-dozen or so idlers were gathered at the Thakur's door. Valor in the courtroom was the topic of the day. How cleverly the Thakurs had bribed the local police chief in a certain case and come off scot-free. With what skill he'd managed to get his hands on a copy of the dossier in an important lawsuit. The clerks and magistrates had all said it was impossible to get a copy. One had demanded 50 for it, another 100, but for no money at all, a copy had come flying. You had to know the right way to operate in these matters. At this moment, Ganji reached the Thakur's well to quietly get water for her husband. The dim glow of a small oil lamp lit up the well. Ganji sat hidden behind the wall of the well and waited for the right moment. Everybody in the village drank water from this well. It was closed to nobody except those unlucky like herself. Ganji's resentful heart rebelled against the restraints and bars of custom. Why was she so low and those others so high? Because they wore a thread around their necks. There wasn't one in the village who wasn't rotten. They stole, they cheated, they lied in court. That very day the Thakurs stolen a sheep from the poor shepherd, then killed and eaten it. They gambled in the priest's house all 12 months of the year. The shopkeeper mixed oil with the ghee before he sold it. They'd get you to do their work, but they wouldn't pay wages. Just how were they so high and mighty? It was only a matter of words. No, Ganji thought, we don't go around shouting that we're better. She heard people coming to the well and her heart began to pound. If anybody saw her, there'd be the devil to pay and she'd get an awful kicking out of it. She grabbed her bucket and rope and crept away to hide in the dark shadows of a tree. When had these people ever had pity on anybody? The reason was that she refused to work in the forced labor gang. Was this what made such people consider themselves better than everybody else? Two women had come to draw water, and they were talking. One said, "There they were eating and they order us to get more water. There's no money for a jug. The menfolk get jealous if they think we are sitting around, for they think we are taking it easy." That's right, and you'll never see them pick up the pitcher and fetch water themselves. They just order us to get it as though we were slaves. If you're not a slave, what are you? You work for food and clothes, and even to get nothing more than 5 or 6 rupees, you have to snatch it on the sly. What's that, if it isn't being a slave? Don't make me feel ashamed, sister. All I do long for just a second's rest. If I did this much work for somebody else's family, I'd have easier time, and they might even be grateful. But here you could drop dead from overwork, and they'd just frown. She looped the rope around the bucket. Like some soldier stealing into the enemy's fortress at night, she peered cautiously on every side. If she were caught now, there was not the slightest hope of mercy or leniency. Finally, with a prayer to the gods, she mustered her courage and lowered the bucket into the well. Slowly, slowly it sank in the water. There was not the slightest sound. Genki pulled it up with all her might to the rim of the well. No strange armed athlete could have dragged it up more swiftly. She had just stopped to catch it and set it on the wall when suddenly the Thakur's door opened. The jaws of a tiger could not have terrified her more. The rope escaped from her hand. With a crash the bucket fell into the water, the rope after it, and for a few seconds there were sounds of splashing, yelling, "Who's there? Who's there?" The Thakur came toward the well, and Genki jumped from the platform and ran as fast as she could. When she reached home, Joku, with the looter at his mouth, was drinking that filthy, stinking water.